The void whispered her name as Alara's last credit chip dissolved into nothingness, leaving her stranded in the underbelly of Nexus Station, where the air reeked of desperation and alien sweat. She had nothing left, no family, no homeworld, no purpose, but her body, a vessel of Zorathian grace, now reduced to currency in the galaxy's cruelest marketplace. Alara pressed her back against the cold, alloy wall of the docking bay, her iridescent skin flickering faintly under the stuttering neon lights. The station hummed with life, hulking Greyvax traders bartering stolen tech, sleek Valorian diplomats gliding through the crowds with their holographic entourages, and the occasional human, those curious newcomers from the fringes of explored space, staring wide-eyed at the chaos. She had once been a navigator on a Zorathian star cruiser, charting paths through wormholes that bent reality itself. But war had come, swift and merciless, when the collective invaded her homeworld. Her ship destroyed, her crew scattered like stardust, Alara fled with only the clothes on her back and a debt that chained her to this forsaken place. Now, she survived in the shadow markets, where bodies were traded like commodities. Not just for pleasure, though that was common enough, but for essence sharing, a Zorathian specialty where one could link minds and bodies through neural interfaces, experiencing another's sensations, memories, even pain. It was intimate, invasive, and utterly exhausting. Alara's clients paid well for the thrill, but each session chipped away at her soul. What would happen when even her body failed her? The thought clawed at her mind, a shadow she couldn't escape. But tonight, something felt different. A figure approached from the misty corridors, cloaked in a simple human enviro suit, his face obscured by a reflective visor. Humans were rare here, often dismissed as primitive upstarts who had only recently cracked faster-than-light travel. Yet this one moved with purpose, his steps echoing like a countdown. Alara straightened, forcing a seductive shimmer to her skin, the Zorathian way of advertising availability. Seeking escape, she murmured, her voice a melodic hum that translated perfectly through the station's universal comms. The human paused, his visor tilting as if scanning her. Then, in a voice rough with an Earth accent, he said, "Not escape, something more." His hand extended, not in demand but offering a small, glowing data crystal. Alara's hearts quickened, 2 beats in sync, a Zorathian trait. Was this a trap? A new kind of predator? She hesitated, but desperation won. She took the crystal, and as her fingers brushed his glove, a spark jumped. Not tech, but something primal. What had she just invited into her life? The crystal hummed to life in her palm, projecting a holographic map of the station's forbidden levels. "Follow it," the human said, his visor retracting to reveal eyes like stormy oceans, blue, piercing, human. "There's a way out of this hell. But you have to trust me." Trust? Alara laughed bitterly inside. Trust had died with her world. Yet his gaze held no lust, no malice, only urgency. She pocketed the crystal, nodding once. As he vanished into the crowd, she wondered, who was he, and why me? Venturing deeper into the station's underlevels, Alara followed the map's pulsing path. The air grew thicker, laced with the ozone tang of malfunctioning life support systems. Graffiti in a dozen languages scarred the walls. Warnings of collective enforcers, pleas for lost loved ones. Her mind raced. What if this was a setup? Humans were known for their cunning, their history of wars and deceptions. But the alternative was another night of essence sharing, surrendering her essence to strangers until she was hollow. She reached a rusted hatch, the map's endpoint. It hissed open at her touch, revealing a dimly lit chamber cluttered with salvaged tech, flickering consoles, tangled wires, and a central pod that pulsed with bioluminescent light. The human was there, visor down again, tinkering with a device. "You're Zorathian," he said without looking up. "Your people were masters of neural links. I need that skill." Alara's skin prickled. "For what? I'm no one's tool." But curiosity burned. Humans didn't seek Zorathians often. Our abilities were too intimate, too dangerous. He turned, and in his eyes she saw a flicker of pain. "To save my sister. She's trapped in a collective mind prison." Only a Zorathian can bridge the gap. A human with a personal stake? That was unexpected. Ilara felt a pull, an echo of her own losses. But diving into a collective network? Suicide. Yet, as the pod hummed invitingly, she stepped forward. What choice did she have? The link initiated with a surge of energy, Ilara's neural tendrils extending from her temples to interface with the pod. Reality blurred. She was no longer in the chamber but soaring through digital voids, the collective's vast hive mind looming like a black hole. Whispers assaulted her. Millions of assimilated voices, begging, screaming, conforming. She pushed deeper, guided by the human's coordinates. There, a faint human signature, fragile amid the storm. But as she reached for it, alarms blared in her mind. Trap? No, worse. The collective had noticed her intrusion. Tendrils of code lashed out, trying to ensnare her essence. Ilara fought back, weaving Zorathian shields, but the effort drained her. Hold on, the human's voice echoed through the link, anchoring her. His presence was warm, human, messy emotions bleeding into the cold logic of the network. Together, they pulled his sister free, her digital form materializing in the pod as a holographic ghost. Gasping, Ilara disconnected, collapsing to the floor. The human, his name was Jax, he said, knelt beside her, gratitude in his eyes. You did it. She's alive because of you. But as the sister's hologram stabilized, revealing a young human face twisted in confusion, Ilara sensed something off. The girl's eyes weren't human. They glowed with collective code. What had they really pulled out? The revelation hit, like a plasma bolt. The sister wasn't just rescued. She was a carrier, infected with a virus that could unravel the collective from within. Jax had used Ilara, but not maliciously. He hadn't known the full extent. I swear, he whispered. I thought she was clean. Now, enforcers would come, drawn by the breach. Ilara's anger flared, but beneath it, a spark of alliance. For the first in years, she wasn't alone. But that was only the beginning. They fled the chamber as sirens wailed, the station's security protocols activating. Jax led the way, his human agility surprising in the low-grav corridors. Ilara's mind reeled. Why help a stranger? Humans were isolationists, their Earth a backwater planet barely integrated into galactic politics. Yet, Jax spoke of a hidden network, the Terran Resistance, a loose alliance fighting the collective's expansion. Your world fell. Because of them, he said, dodging a patrol drone. Mine's next. Ilara's memories surged. The invasion of Zorath Prime, skies filled with collective harvesters, her family vaporized in the first wave. She had escaped on a refugee shuttle, but the guilt lingered like a neural scar. Now, with this human, purpose flickered new. They reached a smuggling bay, where Jax's ship waited. A sleek Terran vessel, the Eclipse, cloaked in stealth fields. Get in, he urged as enforcers closed in. Blasting off from Nexus, the station receding into the starfield, Ilara strapped into the co-pilot seat. The sister's hologram, Lila, her name was, flickered in the console, her voice weak. Brother, what have you done? The virus within her pulsed, a double-edged sword. If harnessed, it could cripple the collective's fleets. But if it spread unchecked, it might consume everything, including them. Ilara felt the weight of it, a moral abyss. Use the girl as a weapon, or risk her life to purge the code. As they jumped to hyperspace, stars streaking into lines, Jax shared his story. Earth had been contacted decades ago, but the collective saw humans as threats, innovative, unpredictable. They abducted Lila during a border skirmish, experimenting on her to understand human resilience. Jax, a former pilot in Earth's Defense Force, went rogue to find her. You're the key, he told Ilara. Your neural mastery can control the virus. But doubt gnawed at her. Humans were emotional volcanoes, driven by love, hate, vengeance. Zorathians prized logic balance. Linking with Jax earlier had flooded her with his turmoil, grief for Lila, rage at the collective. It was intoxicating, dangerous. What if it changed her? As the ship hummed through the void, Lila's hologram glitched, whispering warnings. The code, it's evolving. A chill ran through Ilara. None of them were prepared for the truth. They emerged in the Orion Arm, near a derelict Zorathian outpost Ilara knew from her navigator days. It was a ghost station orbiting a gas giant, its halls echoing with forgotten echoes. "We can stabilize Lila here," Ilara said, leading them inside. Dust motes danced in their flashlight beams, ancient consoles flickering to life at her touch. She initiated a deep scan, her tendrils interfacing with the system. Jax paced, his human energy crackling. "Tell me about your world," he asked, perhaps to distract from the tension. Ilara hesitated, then spoke, Zorath Prime, with its crystal spires piercing aurora skies, families linked in neural harmonies. "We were peaceful explorers," she said, voice cracking, "until they came. The Collective, a machine-organic hive, assimilating worlds to fuel their endless expansion. No emotion, only efficiency. The scan revealed horrors. The virus wasn't just code, it was a sentient fragment of the Collective's overmind, using Lila as a host. It's alive," Ilara whispered, "and it's learning from her, from us." Lila's eyes widened in the hologram. "I can feel it whispering secrets of human weaknesses, Zorathian vulnerabilities. If it escaped, it could adapt, become unstoppable." A sudden alarm blared, Collective scouts approaching. Jax grabbed a plasma rifle from the ship's armory. "We fight." Ilara, unarmed but resourceful, activated the outpost's defenses, automated turrets, shield generators. The battle erupted in the void, scout ships darting like insects. Ilara linked with the station's AI, her mind expanding to coordinate fire. Jax piloted a drone fighter, his human instincts dodging blasts with reckless grace. They repelled the scouts, but not without cost. The station shuddered, life support failing in sections. Lila's virus surged, nearly overwhelming her. Ilara delved into the link again, wrestling the entity. It spoke in her mind, "Join us. Perfection awaits." She resisted, drawing on Jax's shared emotions, his fierce protectiveness fueling her resolve. But as she subdued it temporarily, a vision flashed. The Collective's core, a massive neural nexus hidden in the galactic center. Destroy it, and the hive crumbles. Exhausted, they regrouped. Jax touched her shoulder. Human contact, warm and grounding. "We can't do this alone." Ilara nodded, a plan forming. They would seek allies, remnants of Zorathian fleets, human colonies, perhaps even dissident aliens. But trust was fragile. What if Jax's resistance had ulterior motives? Humans were ambitious. Rumors spoke of their desire to dominate post-collective space. Ilara pushed the doubt aside for now. The virus stabilized, but its whispers grew cunning. What I saw next changed everything. Venturing to Epsilon Eridani, a human outpost, they docked under false IDs. The colony buzzed with activity, domed cities on a terraformed planet, humans in exosuits harvesting resources. Jax introduced Ilara to his contacts, a ragtag group of resistance fighters led by Captain Reyes, a stern woman with cybernetic enhancements. A Zorathian? Reyes eyed her suspiciously. Useful but risky. In an underground bunker, they debated strategy. Lila's virus could be weaponized, uploaded to the Collective's network via a backdoor Ilara knew from her navigator past. But the moral dilemma loomed. Using Lila meant risking her life, perhaps sacrificing her. "She's my sister," Jax argued, voice breaking. Ilara felt his pain echo in her, human emotions seeping through their growing bond. She had linked with him during the battle, sharing thoughts, and now fragments lingered. His childhood on Earth, Lila's laughter under blue skies. Reyes revealed intel. The Collective was massing for an assault on Earth, their harvesters ready to assimilate billions. "We strike first," she declared, but Ilara sensed deception. Reyes's eyes flickered, hiding something. That night, as Jax slept, Ilara hacked the bunker's database. Shock rippled through her. The Resistance planned to use the virus not just against the Collective, but to subjugate surviving worlds, establishing human supremacy. Betrayal burned hot. Confronting Jax at dawn, she showed him the files. His face crumpled, disbelief, then fury. Reyes, she was my mentor. But loyalty shifted. He chose family, chose Alara. They escaped with Lila's pod, stealing a shuttle amid chaos. Pursued by resistance fighters, they jumped to a neutral zone. The Veil, Nebula, a chaotic storm of gas and anomalies where sensors failed. Hiding in the nebula's heart, Alara and Jax bonded deeper. She shared Zorathian rituals, neural communion, where minds merged without tech. Tentatively, they linked, his memories flooding her losses, into him. It was raw, vulnerable, human passion clashing with Zorathian calm. "You're not alone anymore," he whispered. But the virus evolved, manipulating Lila to plead, "Let me go, or I'll take you all." Tension mounted. Could they trust her? A twist emerged. The virus revealed a hidden truth. In Lila's mind, fragments of collective history. They weren't conquerors by choice, but refugees from a greater threat, the Void Eaters, ancient entities devouring galaxies. The collective assimilated to build an army against them. Was it lies? Or a revelation that upended everything? Alara's world tilted. If true, destroying the collective doomed the galaxy. Moral conflict raged. Fight the Hive or ally against a worse evil? They decided to verify, heading to a forbidden archive on a dead world. Zorith Prime's ruins. Landing amid shattered spires, Alara's hearts ached. Home, desecrated. They delved into underground vaults, activating ancient databanks. Holograms sprang to life. Records of first contact with the collective, warnings of the Void Eaters, cosmic horrors that consumed stars, leaving voids. But as they absorbed the data, collective forces ambushed. Harvesters descended, troops beaming down. Jax fought fiercely, plasma bolts lighting the ruins. Alara linked with the Archive's AI, unleashing defensive swarms. Lila's virus activated involuntarily, spreading to nearby drones, turning them against their masters. Victory came, but at a price. Lila screamed as the virus consumed more of her essence. Fleeing with the data, Alara faced her low point. In the shuttle, she collapsed, sobbing, Zorathian tears like liquid light. Everything I believed was wrong. Jax held her, human comfort bridging their differences. We'll find a way. But the revelation shattered alliances. If the collective was a bulwark, what then? The story was far from over. Midway through their odyssey, a major turning point loomed. They intercepted a distress signal from a Valorian convoy, neutral traders caught in a Void Eater incursion. Warping to the coordinates, they witnessed horror. A massive shadow entity, larger than planets, tendrils siphoning a star's energy. Ships vanished into its maw. The collective arrived, their harvesters engaging the beast, sacrificing vessels to drive it back. Jax and Alara joined the fray, uploading a modified virus from Lila, not to destroy, but to enhance the collective's coordination. It worked, the Eater retreated, but in the link, Alara glimpsed the Overmind's core. Not malevolent, but desperate. "We assimilate to survive," it pleaded. "Wait, this is not what I expected." The collective wasn't the enemy, it was a flawed savior. This shifted everything. Jax, torn between Earth's freedom and galactic survival, argued with Alara. "They killed your people." "To strengthen the whole," she countered, inner conflict tearing her. Lila, now partially merged with the virus, became a bridge. There's another way, reform from within. They infiltrated a collective hub, posing as assimilates, navigating hive corridors, minds linked to avoid detection, tension built. Betrayals lurked. Reyes had allied with radicals, planning to exploit the chaos. A shocking discovery. The Void Eaters were awakened by human experiments. Earth's FTL drives had pierced their dimension. Emotional low hit when Lila sacrificed part of herself to seal a breach, her hologram fading. Jax wept, human grief raw. Alara shared it, her logic crumbling under emotion's weight. "We end this," she vowed. The climax unfolded at the galactic core, the collective's nexus, a colossal sphere of fused minds. Confronting the overmind, Alara and Jax offered alliance, human innovation, Zorathian neural mastery. to fight the Eaters without assimilation. Resistance came, purists attacked, battles raged, mind duels, ship dogfights. In the heart, Ilera linked fully, merging with the overmind. Visions assaulted, eons of war, losses beyond count. Jax anchored her, his love, a human word, but fitting, pulling her back. They reformed the core, purging forced assimilation, instilling choice. Reyes ambushed, revealing her plan, dominate with the virus. Jax fought her, brother against mentor. Ilera aided from the link, turning the Nexus against her. Reyes fell, redeemed in death, for Earth. Peace dawned. The collective evolved into the Alliance, inclusive. Lila survived, hybrid but free. Ilera and Jax stood on a rebuilt Zorith spire, watching stars. "You gave me hope," she said. He smiled. "And you showed me the universe." As the nebula bloomed anew, Ilera whispered, "In the end, it wasn't bodies that saved us, but hearts." The galaxy, forever changed, spun on.